Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And I want to speak in strong support of my colleague's amendment, Mr. Smucker's amendment here today. Mr. Chairman, as I travel around my district, I've heard from the overwhelming amount of my small businesses and employers that are continuing to struggle as they begin to get back to pre-COVID operations. Up until earlier this month, when the supplemental unemployment insurance benefits ran out, most of my businesses and employers' biggest competitor was the federal government through the unemployment insurance program. And Mr. Chairman, I'm all for helping people that need unemployment benefits, that are down on their luck or have health issues or have a disability. But, we've essentially disincentivized work through this process. And the reality is that many of my, if not all of my businesses can't find enough workers. We have up to 10.3 million unfilled jobs in this country as we talk today. In addition, my employers and businesses are afraid to make financial decisions because of the threat of these tax policies before us today. And their bottom line is negatively affected due to inflation and supply chain disruptions. While I'm afraid this amendment will fall on deaf ears from my colleagues across the aisle, I want to reiterate what the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act did for my district in Central and West Central Illinois and all across the country. Wages grew at the fastest pace in 20 years due to the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act. In addition, 6 million people were lifted out of poverty by giving business owners the resources to invest in their workforce, which ultimately created a stable, highly retained, and competitive workforce. That's the reality. I've heard from numerous employers and small businesses and companies in my district with significant concerns, not only on the tax increases and impact on their workers, but also on the lack of qualified workforce to fulfill these open positions, whether it's truck drivers, whether it's welders, whether it's cooks and waitresses, landscapers, all across the economy. We don't have enough workers. Companies and businesses cannot act in the best interest of their employees in the long term if they're unable to have any predictability in the tax code. Instead of focusing on assisting small businesses that have endured one of the most financially challenging years to date, we are instead considering job-killing tax hikes on these same groups of people desperate to find workers and get back to normal operations. As I listen to the debate here today, I think about my businesses and employers and the workers and families across Central and West Central Illinois. Considering this tax rate increase on businesses and employers to the magnitude is simply irresponsible and will harm the ongoing efforts on the recovery of our economy and to have a robust workforce. I wholeheartedly support Mr. Smucker's amendment that helps ensure a strong and robust workforce in the face of this rushed, unpredictable process that we've been going through here today and tomorrow. And I thank you, Mr. Chairman, and I yield back and ask everyone to support this amendment.
Thank the gentleman. The question is on agreeing to the amendment offered by the gentleman from